Downtown Indianapolis, moving at warp speed in this time-lapse footage. We're in the basketball hotbed of Indiana. On the road, looking for a win against an Eastern Conference rival. The Chicago Bulls are ready for this thing to get started. Well, before you look ahead to your busy week, sit down, relax, pull up a chair as we bring you another NBA broadcast. And thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And of course, David Aldridge is joining us tonight from the sideline. And let's get a quick pregame update from David Aldridge, who had a chance moments ago to talk with head coach Nate McMillan.
Guys, he told me their primary focus of the pregame discussion was defense. He said they're dealing with a very sophisticated offense, and it's going to require an outstanding effort from his players at the defensive end to come out on top. Let's see if that's the effort they get. Guys?
Thank you, David.
You know, you figured that Dwayne Wade might be a player to finish his career playing for just one team, the Miami Heat, but in the end, things just ended bitterly. Wade had taken less money in the past so the Heat could win titles. I mean, he was done playing for a discount, and the Bulls, boy, did they step up.
And in Chicago to start out. Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Rajon Rondo is out there with Dwayne Wade. Then there's Jimmy Butler. Then there's Robin Lopez. And it's Gibson in at the 4 spot. And with the trade of Derrick Rose and the departure of Pau Gasol, it seemed like the Bulls might look to rebuild and go young. Then they reverse course and get Chicago native Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, and don't forget the deal for Rajon Rondo. They're taking kind of a blended approach. Not a lot of three-point shooting in that backcourt. So it'll be interesting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
Teague with the ball. Screen by Jefferson. George, that's a two-pointer. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague.
Hey, a nice, calm disposition and demeanor is what helps George be as good and as special as he is. It allows him to maintain his concentration on the basket despite stifling defense.
And it's Rondo penetrating. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
That is an elegant move to drop in the floater there, guys.
Screen by Young. Ellis, the pass to Young. First 1:30 gone here in the first quarter. Great D that time from Gibson. To the inside, Butler. And it's Butler with the jam.
Rondo with the nice dish.
Outside Teague. George sets a screen for Teague. He dishes it to George. Now the pass to Jefferson. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And the Pacers going with the smaller lineup too, but they've remained an elite team defensively. Guys, how have they done it?
Well, not so much about their shot blocking or rim protecting as it was in the past. More about their perimeter defense. One of the best in the league at forcing turnovers and defending the three-point shot. And ironically, despite all the pressure they apply, they do a good job of keeping the ball in front most times.
And really, you got to commend the Bulls for the success they've had in the draft. You look at that roster, you see a ton of big-minute players who were drafted by the Bulls. They've done a great job of finding players to fill roles within that team.
He hits the second from the line. And with the Bulls and their draft success, a lot of it has come with picks, Greg, later on in the draft.
Yeah, the last lottery pick the Bulls had was Derrick Rose. Not a bad one there.
Yes.
But since then, they've drafted or made trades on draft day to find a ton of rotation players. Give a lot of credit to their scouting department for their continued success.
Now, here's George. Jaren Grant missing his last shot. Young outside. Kicks to Turner. Just 5 on the clock. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
I tell you what, Turner just has a beautiful touch down on the block. I mean, you get the ball where he wants it, he'll deliver for you.
Grant kicks to Butler. Grant outside. Here's Mirotic, connects from three-point range.
Yeah, it's such a sweet three-point stroke there, and it can really open things up inside because as good as he shoots it, it forces the opposing bigs to have to step out on the perimeter.
Here's George. Turner with a screen on Butler. And here's George for three. And so the first quarter is in the books. It's the Bulls up 4. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports. Talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do.
I think I had that all my life. I always had to prove somebody wrong, and still to this day. That's just the competitiveness that I believe my oldest brother built into me when I was little.
And that kind of relentless determination is something Monte is known for. And one of the reasons he's been around for a decade in the NBA as a consistently good player.
And welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. More action in store as the players get ready to go, having a nice break to get hydrated with Gatorade. Looking at what we've seen from the Bulls, what do you guys think?
They come out the gates here strong and put together just a solid first quarter.
A ton of good looks for him, Greg, on offense, and it's quality shots they're getting.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. So the Bulls 5 right now. Mirotic and Gibson up front. D-Wade out there with Rajon Rondo, and it's McDermott in at the 3 slot. Out that one, the Bulls' lead has been cut down to 1 on the bucket from Monte Ellis.
Well, give Ellis credit for maintaining his focus at all times. I mean, there's not much the defense can do to distract him, to bother him, to disrupt him from getting a high percentage shot. Miles Turner, the 11th overall pick last season out of the University of Texas, only spent 1 season in college. But this guy very well could be a perennial all-star. The Pacers think they've gotten a steal. He was a 19-year-old rookie who showed he already understands how to hold his own at both ends of the floor.
Now here's Rondo. Jeff Teague unable to get his shot to go. Mirotic dishes to Rondo. Back to Mirotic. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
That's really the area where they'd like all of their shots to come from.
The Pacers making a switch here. Young's checked in, and a change for the Bulls. Tony Snell's checked in for McDermott. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
Fellas, they're passing the ball the way you're supposed to here in this first half.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
Now here's Teague looking for his first basket still in this one. Near the three-point line, it's Ellis. Ellis can't get that one to fall either.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
There's the pick. Rondo passes to Gibson. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way.
Well, it wasn't a textbook pick, but he still managed to score. Good concentration on the finish.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Al Jefferson, he's checked in for Turner. Paul George comes in for C.J. Myers. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Ellis. Young is subbed in for Teague. Then for the Bulls, Lopez, he's checked in for Mirotic. Valentine comes in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Grant in for Rajon Rondo. Now here's Jefferson from 13. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
Grant kicks to Gibson. There's 39 seconds left to play here in the half. Here's Here's Grant. Off target with his 3. Pacers trail by 4. A 3 ball. Valentine grabs the board. Launches a 3. It's hauled in by Paul George. For Indiana, they've gone 2 of 6 from the field in the second quarter so far. Here's Young, and it's Young finishing it off.
Yeah, nice unselfishness by George, zipping the ball to one of his guys as soon as he sees him open to get the shot off.
And I like the fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Definitely saved a layup with that foul, and you'll make him earn them from the line, and that's what you want to see.
Indiana shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
And their free throw percentage as a unit last year, 76%, right around the middle of the road.
That one is off. Bulls making a switch here. Good on the second free throw.
And while Young is serviceable at the line, not terrible, there's still a lot of room for improvement.
Here's Butler. And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Bulls lead by 1. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Dwayne. How did you evaluate the first half?
I like the way we started the game. You know, sometime on the road we start off slow, so I thought we got to the fight early. And it's 2 good teams, so, you know, it's the way it should be.
Yeah, we'll see if you can keep their crowd out of it in the second half. Thanks, Dwayne. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hi again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Welcome to the... It was a closely contested first quarter for Chicago. At the end of the period, they held a 4-point lead. They were outscored by just a bit in the second quarter as they go into the break now holding just a 1-point advantage. And Kenny, what did you think about what you saw from Chicago?
Well, it's always a little bit of a challenge playing on the road, but they came in mentally prepared and physically prepared. The energy in the arena was fierce, but they didn't cave in.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Indiana?
Well, they had a hard time scoring inside. In fact, their offense was run almost exclusively along the perimeter. A lot of jumpers. It's too predictable. You got to mix it up.
That concludes our halftime presentation. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. One guy who's getting it done is Taj Gibson.
But really, the numbers aren't gaudy. They don't stick out, but his energy and impact does.
That's right. Sometimes the stats are facade. I mean, he's passing the eye test with his impact on the floor, though.
Indiana trailing here. George and Young are the forwards. Teague and Monte are the guard set. And it's Jefferson in at the center position. That's the Pacers' foul. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That's his first foul. Near the three-point line, it's Ellis. And it's good off the back rim and in. Ellis has got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Pacers.
Well, He's an intriguing player, Thaddeus Young. I mean, you look at his frame and his game. I mean, he seems like he'd be a small forward, but he's played at the power forward position for years now, and I think that's in part due to the way the game is played now in the NBA with stretch fours and spacing the floor. Thaddeus Young fits into that kind of game quite well. Boy, that's got to be deflating and disappointing to miss a wide open shot like that right in your wheelhouse.
Wade kicks to Lopez. It's stolen by Jefferson. To the middle. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. He certainly can score at the power forward. Young has ability to space the floor and attack off the bounce. He's pretty special at that position.
Yeah, he really is. You know, he came into the league only after a year in college and has grown into a reliable scorer as a slasher and small ball four-man. So he's found and carved out a nice niche for himself.
The Pacers last season improved their offense and keeping their defense steady.
And you know, Kevin, it was interesting because of the change in style. There was an expectation that the Pacers would make a bigger jump in the offensive numbers, and didn't quite happen that way. The defense stayed about the same, and the offense didn't make as big a jump as was anticipated.
And he sinks the second. One thing the Bulls have to deal with that is unique to their franchise, Greg, is a extremely high expectation factor from their fan base.
And when you have a rich franchise history like the Bulls, it's a double-edged sword. Fans can always look back at the great years in the 90s, but they'll always long for a return to those days, and sometimes the expectations can be too much.
Dishes it to T. Screen by Jefferson. From deep, Ellis. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys, but as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it was controversial in Chicago, but the Bulls hired Fred Hoiberg to replace Tom Thibodeau. Hoiberg played for a decade in the NBA, and at Iowa State, he was the fastest coach in school history to reach 100 wins. In Chicago, guys, it seems he's loosened the reins a bit, giving the players a little more leeway to shoot with confidence and air it out offensively.
The players have responded. Thanks, David. The Pacers making a change here. Allen's checked in, and Chicago also making a switch. Mirotic is checked in. Ellis against Mirotic. Here's Turner. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist.
Well, that's a really solid decision by Ellis to throw the ball over to the open teammate, showing off his unselfishness there.
Outside Butler. To the paint. Looking for Wade. He gets it there. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Shooting one.
Nice finish there to put him up in the game. I would be surprised to see him get some more of those touches down the stretch.
Indiana making some changes. Stuckey comes in for Monte Ellis. Young is subbed in for Jeff T. Chicago also making some changes. Valentine comes in for Butler. And it's Jaren Grant in for Rajon Rondo. And a lot of players who play like Wade will have brief careers due to the stress it puts on their body. You know, Greg, Wade has had his share of injuries in his time in the NBA, but he is still putting up big numbers despite all the bumps and bruises.
That's a great point. Undersized guards take a beating when they are attacking the basket. Wade has missed a lot of games, but he's been healthy when it matters most. He's also done a good job to adjust his game to be a danger when he's not barreling through the lane.
Shoots 2.
And that one falls for Mirotic.
And the Pacers acquiring the Fort Wayne Mad Ants of the developmental league going into last season. Some rumors had it that they try to move the team closer to Indianapolis, but the Pacers said no, they're committed to keeping them in Fort Wayne, which is really a good basketball city, and it's only about 2 hours from Indianapolis.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And the Mad Ants were the last D-League team that didn't have a one-on-one affiliation with an NBA team.
That's exactly right, and now they belong to the Indiana Pacers. And if you want a D-League team in this day and age, you've got to start your own. Seems like pretty soon every team in the NBA will have their own D-League team to go one-on-one, 30 for 30.
Here's Valentine following the basket by Rodney Stuckey. And again, no good by Chicago.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one, short stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
Shot from free throw range, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. We're at the end of the third, and we've still got a close one. It's the Pacers up by 1. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Indianapolis. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. Chicago trailing here. So for Chicago right now, Mirotić at the power forward with Lopez in the middle. Grant is out there with Valentine. And it's Butler in at the small forward.
And the lead goes right back. What a seesaw affair we've got going on.
This game's right there for the taking, but neither team can quite grab hold of it. Like a slippery bar of soap there. Somebody's got to take charge here.
Teague against Grant. Here's Lopez, and Lopez throws it down.
Wow, the fans are really getting their money's worth tonight. What an entertaining ball game.
Up to this point, Greg, it's been almost impossible to separate these teams. I think this one's going to be close all the way.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for 1.
Man, I like the concentration that Ellis has on these shots. I mean, he's not bothered by aggressive defense when it comes to concentrating on making the shot.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Mirotić. Dwayne Wade comes in for Valentine. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Grant.
Combo guard Ellis continues to build on what's been a really good career. He's a game-changing type player who scores really from anywhere on the basketball court.
Now here's Rondo. Lopez outside. Wade against Ellis. The shot by Wade, no good.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on it.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And, you know, I think Young has always done a good job of creating contact to make a living at the free throw line. That's a nice skill to have.
And look at how the hustle game has been going for Indiana.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
Yeah, and another thing, they've created a lot of turnovers, but they've also been able to convert when they've gotten down in transition.
Gets the first, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And he cannot convert on the second. That misses. Bulls trail by 4. Butler dishes to Rondo. And Butler, here we go. Second Second shot opportunity. That one good for 2.
And you can just see by the way he fought for the putback that he's still got a lot of gas in the tank.
Yeah, and I like the effort we're seeing because it's going to take that kind of effort, not just from him, but from the rest of his teammates as well if these guys are going to pull it out.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
One of the things you like about Paul George is that he's really elevated his game each year he's been in the league. He's a go-to scorer. He's an outstanding defender, and he's excellent now as the leader of the team, really growing into that leadership role.
And he cannot convert on the second. That misses. Bulls trail by 3. And here's Rondo. The feed to Butler. Shoots from 14. Not enough on that one as it misses. Now George. Inside. Young passes to Jefferson. And the rebound goes to Lopez.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
I don't know how that one stayed out.
Here's Butler. Buries it. And that shot brings them to within just 1.
Well, Rondo has just been stupendous.
We can probably expect to see him slow it down now.
Yeah, I think you want to milk your possession.
George double team. Here's Jefferson. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Pass to Rondo. Back to Butler. Nails it.
Those are huge points.
Beyond huge, partner. I mean, they needed that bucket desperately.
And the Pacers call time here. They trail by 1. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
And really no need to rush. Still plenty of time to get a good look.
Well, if they've got a play that they use to get a quality shot, this is the time to run it.
Seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
Had to foul, and on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
And you know what, Greg? Who knows? A few misses at the stripe, and they're right there within range. You know, late game free throws are a lot different than early game free throws in terms of making them.
First free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. So he comes up empty at the line. And the Pacers call time here. They're losing by 1. 15 seconds left in the game. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Now here's Teague. Screen by Young. Here's George. It's good! Buries the game-winning shot!
All zeros on the clock as he drains the game winner.
And Greg, he knew it was good when it left his hand. He started celebrating as soon as it got off his fingertip.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you later.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, thank you. Superb. And now let's move on to the presentation of Paul George. It was one of those performances capped off with a game-winning shot that we'll be seeing on the highlights for quite a while.
It's rare that a player can have as much of an impact from the wing as Paul George can. After that horrific injury, this guy, who is he? Where'd you get the leg from? Can I order one on the internet too? His range, defensive ability, and athleticism, he's a guy you can shape a franchise around.
He shot efficiently tonight. I mean, wow. Like, some nights when you shoot 50%, guys are jumping around the locker room excited. But 60%, to shoot at that level is remarkable.
And that's it for tonight. But we've got a whole new NBA season ahead of us. For Shaquille O'Neal, for Kenny the Jet Smith, for Kevin Harlan, wherever he might be, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again very soon.